What's up, guys? In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing this Star Wars Skeleton Crew Star Wars Hasbro Black Series figure. Now, I ended up getting this figure at a decent price at Ross for $5.99. I've been actually lucky getting a few figures at Ross for that set price. They were kind of fluctuating just a little bit. They were kind of going high, a little bit low. Kind of weird how they were going about doing that, but for $5.99, not a bad price point for the Star Wars Skeleton Crew. Now, his name is Wim, I believe. I have not seen the show, so I'm not sure exactly how they pronounce their names. But from what I could tell, this looks like a pretty decent figure with a decent amount of accessories. Now, I'm not really sure the significance of these accessories. Like I mentioned before, I have not seen the show, but this is number 3 in that line. I do appreciate Hasbro changing the box back to open window and then having this new design of this rectangle box. On the back, you guys can see a little bit of a detailed description of the character, number 3 on the line, as well as on the side. You guys do see that detail right here as well. Like I said, this is going to be my first figure from the Skeleton Crew wave. I don't know anything about the character, so I'm just going to be basing my opinion on this figure, on the figure alone, articulation, details that I could see, and then the accessories, which, you know, having a backpack accessory is pretty cool in my opinion. So let's go ahead and open this bad boy up and see this figure of Wim from Skeleton Crew. All right, so here we have Wim's backpack, which it does look pretty cool in my opinion. Decent amount of details, as you guys can see. Like I said, I don't know the significance of this backpack, but he does have some holes right here on top, so you guys can add some of the other accessories. Now, I do believe this does come off. Now, I'm going to go ahead and see if it can. I don't think it can. I don't want to break it. Nope, it does not come off, or at least it does not want to, but it looks like something that it could come off, but whatever. Here, we also have a flashlight, which I'm not sure the significance of that. We have some kind of tool right here, you guys could see, and we do have a radio or a walkie-talkie. Pretty nice to have these kind of accessories, especially for a Star Wars figure. And, you know, with the new prices of Black Series being a little bit higher than usual, having a lot of accessories is pretty nice. But it kind of sucks when you have two figures for one, same line, different price points, or it could be the same price point but less accessories. But then again, the figure is a kid, so I guess maybe less plastic, less mold. I'm not really sure how that works, but you guys can see that you can insert some stuff here, so we're gonna go ahead and try that. So the flashlight does go back up here, and I believe this tool goes down here, and then obviously the walkie-talkie could be in his hand because there's no other spot. Now this could open, that would be pretty ideal, but I don't think they do that. At least I haven't seen that. But the backpack is pretty cool. You guys could use this for any other Black Series figures. I could use this on Andor because Andor didn't came with like that pouch that he usually has, so that would have been cool to have that. But anyways, let's go ahead and set these accessories aside and just look at Wim as a figure. So like I mentioned before, I'm not sure if I'm saying his name right. Like I said, I haven't seen the show, so I don't know how they actually pronounce his name, but I'm just going to say Wim just for the time being. You guys can see that he does have this nice soft rubber right here as a jacket. You can already tell single jointed, pinless, I guess is a good thing. I'm not sure if single joints are always pinned. I believe double jointed, you know, tends to be more pinned than pinless. Then we do have single jointed knees. Now, I'm not sure if this is because of this type of figure you wouldn't pose all that much. No thigh. Oh, it does have thighs. Definitely does have thigh swivel, which kind of sucks that my Andor figure had no thigh swivel, but this one does. Let's go look at the ankle. It doesn't really go too much up and down because of the molded of the pants, but it can rotate 360-ish, somewhat smooth. There we go. Decent. Let's see if he rotates at the knee, and it definitely does. Now let's see if he can rotate his body, which he can. And for ab crunch, non-existent, no ab crunch there, which I'm not really surprised. This kind of figure I guess wouldn't need it, but then again, it's like price point here, you know, they should have it. Now his head sculpt does go up pretty good and goes down pretty good. I think it's on that new neck peg. Not sure if I could take that out. I don't really want to mess that up, but it is kind of weird, like the way it's on that neck joint right there. But overall, not too bad in my opinion. So now when it comes to the likeness of the actor, I'm not really entirely sure. I've seen the trailers, and from what I think, guess it looks pretty accurate. You guys can see that they went all out for the head sculpt for the hair. Looks pretty decent. Nice side character. Now I wouldn't mind having him, just posed up in the background. Not sure what this logo here on the jacket is, but just having him as a side character, is not really too bad. Now his palms are closed, as you guys can see. Now I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to force this radio here on his hand or walkie-talkie. I'm not sure why I keep saying radio, and it does fit pretty decently right there, which I actually do appreciate that. His backpack probably could be worn with just one strap, as most people do sometimes. But let's go ahead and put that backpack completely in and then look a little bit more detail of this figure. So here we have Wim with the backpack on. Pretty cool in my opinion, I'm not gonna lie. Now I do like that the backpack pretty much is up to scale with his body size, which is pretty cool, but I'm sure you could use this on other figures. It ended up going on pretty smoothly. I added the little tool on his right hand. Pretty nice. I think he's gonna make a great side character to any kind of really shelf figures that you might have. Not necessarily Star Wars. You probably could use them for like Marvel, maybe DC, even DC Multiverse if you really wanted to. There's nothing here that really screams Star Wars besides you knowing that it's a Star Wars figure. But having him as a background character is not bad. Now, I really wouldn't buy a multiple of this figure unless you really want those accessories, which having that backpack, that flashlight is actually pretty cool. I don't mind that whatsoever. I think I would add that backpack to like Andor. I do have Andor right here, which I did do a review. Now, it doesn't really match exactly his aesthetics, but it's good to have that as an accessory. Win for me overall, it is a kid, I guess. So having the excessive articulation, I can see why they didn't do that. But still, poor articulation nonetheless. I'll definitely rate that like a decent, I don't even know, like a 4.5, maybe 5 out of 10. Accessories, definitely pretty nice. I'll give that a nice 9 out of 10. I cannot, stress this enough. Like, I like accessories, even though it's not like the most ideal accessories that I personally like. But for this kind of figure, I think it's a solid 9 out of 10. Now, if I had this backpack for like a stormtrooper, I probably wouldn't like that. But just for this basic character, pretty nice. Fits his hand pretty decently. Overall, no complaints with the accessories. The box, obviously the box design, I really like those. Box for this figure as well, decent 9 out of 10. I love the new Hasbro box design. Perfectly squared off, open window box is the way to go in my opinion. The overall figure, I'm kind of biased. I did pay $5.99 at Ross. I really would not pay $22 for this figure. Not that this figure isn't worth it. If you guys like this show, want to collect the line, then yes, of course, it's worth it. As for me, I didn't watch the show, so I don't know anything about it. I got no kind of ties to it. Definitely a good figure, good price point at Ross for $5.99. But you guys let me know down in the comment section below. What do you guys think of Wim? If hopefully I'm saying his name right, I'll probably end up watching this show later on, and maybe I'll give my better thoughts of this figure. By then, maybe, I'm not sure. I don't really do a review of past figures, but you guys let me know, what do you guys think of the Skeleton Crew show? Is it worth watching? Just been kind of burned out with like poor shows. Andor, obviously season 1 was great. I knew season 2 was going to be good. I haven't heard anything too bad at Skeleton Crew, but I haven't heard anything crazy as far as it being good. But you guys let me know if I should watch it. What do you guys think of this figure? I think he's a main character, possibly at least one of the main characters of the group. Definitely gives me some Goonies vibes right here. And I'll see you guys in the next video.